Hey there guys, it's Metro, and strap in because we got a big hitting video coming at you about my thoughts on the Blood DK changes. They are fast, they're fierce. I have already tried to make this video multiple times. We had some technical difficulties, so I have read this already, but I don't think that's going to change my reaction. So let's get right to it. Many talents have moved locations or have had their pathing updated. I am now able to get on the alpha. In the previous attempt at making this video, I was not. I'm able to get on the alpha. We will be showing that in the video. Stay tuned. New talent, Bone Collector. When you would pull an enemy, generate 1 charge of Bone Shield. Coolest fucking spell in the game. Unbelievable. I can't react to that strong enough. This changes so much. This gives Slappy Hands more use case still. Keeps that Bone Shield situation there. Especially considering they said that it wasn't going to give that anymore. That's a very confusing statement, you know. It can, obviously it's nerfed, but regardless, it's still a really nice change. Big thing, makes you wonder, Gorfine's Grasp on 10 targets. Is that 10 Bone Shield? Oh, I fucking hope it is. Ossified Vitriol. When you lose a Bone Shield charge, the damage of your next Mirror End is increased by 15%, stacking up to 75. Does this mean that it is a permanent thing until you use the spell? This is a really cool change. I really like this. And obviously, you know me, I overuse Mirror End like crazy. So between this and the Deathbringer talents, I feel like this is going to be really in my wheelhouse. Tightening Grasp now silences enemies for 3 seconds when they're pulled and no longer increases the damage enemies take from you when they're pulled by Gorfine's Grasp. So if you're not aware, the old version of this talent was a very, 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 very weak offensive buff. Now it is a AoE silence. I mean, come on, that's so great. Presumably it's still going to make it a 1.5 minute CD. I don't know that for sure yet, but I assume that it will. And so you now have a 1.5 minute 4-second AoE silence on every single target, and it grips them, and it gives you Bone Shield, and it makes them do less damage to you. Yeah. Blood Drinker now reduces the damage to enemies dealt to you by 20% while channeling for an additional 5 seconds after your channel's fully. So this is a very good single target spell. I can't see myself using this in Mythic Plus, but you know, we'll see. I can't imagine I would, but it's a nice change for anybody who's using it for raiding, because otherwise it was pretty much just an offensive spell. Now, don't forget Consumption and Blood Drinker on the same talent node, at least in the past. I don't think that's changed. Consumption now also causes your Blood Plague damage to occur 50% more quickly for 8 seconds, and it generates 2 runes. This is very interesting. It's going to really depend on how much we can make out of Consumption. Like, is it just a free talent? Is everybody taking this now? But it's going to really juice up our Blood Plague for umbilicus windows, and obviously Consumption during Vamp Blood is going to be huge anyway, right? The problem is the damage has been really low, so that means the healing is very low, but this could be very heavily synergizing with, you know, pop your CDs, get Vamp Blood rolling, and then use Consumption to get a really big amount of healing, and then a really big amount of Blood Plague into umbilicus. This is the big one. Everybody was talking about this today on stream. Couldn't help but spoil it. Yeah. Bone Storm no longer costs runic power. Great. That's a huge change. It's going to make it so it doesn't compete with Death Strike now, which is going to make it a lot more usable. But costs up to 10 Bone Shield charges and lasts 1 second for each charge consumed. I talked about this a few times now, trying to make this video. Does this mean that you use 10 and instantly get 1 back? Because it also generates 1 Bone Shield charge every 1 second while active, which is pretty much useless because every time, you know, there's an ICD on how often Bone Shield can be removed. So you're basically just getting 1 and then it's going away again. We'll see it in game. Let's take a look at it after this. But to me, this is a terrible change. It's like a huge step in the right direction. And then it's like, oh, but hold on, this spell can't be too powerful. So I think it should just be a straight up CD. I don't know why they can't do that. But yeah, it's better than it was. I definitely think that. But snapping 10 Bone Shield charges up. Now, presumably that works with Shattering Bone. Don't know that for sure yet, but it better. Because if it's not, it's fucking awful. But it's going to turn Bone Shield into a serious offensive spell now. Unless something changes about its tuning, this is going to be a wild offensive spell. So unfortunately, that means you're probably going to see a lot of builds telling you to take it, even if it makes it so... It sounds like it's going to make Blood DK hard as fuck to play. Because you're going to basically have to generate a ton of Bone Shield, remove them, then generate a bunch more, remove them again with Tombstone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're basically using Bone Shield as like a freaking currency now all of a sudden instead of a defensive thing. So we'll see how it plays out. Reinforced Bones now also let Bone Shield stack 2 additional times. So that's crucial to the change to Bone Storm, because that should make it so you can not have windows where you have 0 Bone Shields. But like I was saying before, like, if this doesn't give it to you instantly, like if there is a window where if you had 10, you now have 0 for 1 second. Yeah, anyway, nothing good to say about that. Heartbreaker is now a 1-point talent. Perseverance of the Everblade's versatility is a 1-point talent, although I think that's ultimately a nerf because of the way they wrote it. I think it used to be 8% total, now it's 6 total. I don't know though. First, a Shattering Bone is now a 1-point talent. Maybe that might actually be a buff anyway before. But yeah, Shattering Bone, 1-point talent. Red Thirst, 1-point talent. Crimson Scourge, Death Caress, baseline. Great changes. Let's read this post and we're taking a look at it in game. Today's alpha build, we have updates to the blood talent tree and new talents for the not yet implemented talents for both Frost and Unholy, but nobody gives a fuck about those specs. Just kidding, I know you guys do. I've made this joke 3 times now. Hey, you guys like DPS, who cares? Our focus for Blood DK updates, we're heavily focused on tree layout, updating existing talents to have more synergy with Blood's kit, reducing the amount of 2-point talents, and moving a couple talents baseline Crimson Scourge and Death Caress. One major pain point we've heard expressed with Blood is how much friction there is to pick up Gorfine's Grass. Here's another joke I made 3 times. Hands are in the air. Yep, Gorfine's Grass. Hooray, this is great. In content where you may need it. In response to that, we've updated the tree to have Gorfine's in a more accessible location. Here's the second joke I made. Hands are even further in the air. While we generally like the accessibility it has in the new tree, we've been testing it internally. Oh no, hands coming down. And we've realized that its new location has been made it a bit difficult to avoid in scenarios where you might need the AoE grip. What does that mean? I still think it's a typo. I don't understand what that means. But we're going to see it on the talent tree now, finally. We will update the pathing again to make it still accessible, but a bit more optional. So there's more changes to come, basically. The other big point of contention for Blood is just how many talents you had to buy into to make a functioning baseline as a tank. We hope the combination of reduced 2-point nodes and new pathing and baseline abilities will make more variety in your builds. And I think this is partially to do with the fact that there's not a lot of very interesting talents. Like, there's not a lot of utility type talents, right? They're all basically defensive talents, which I love, but that's the problem. Buy-in as a functioning baseline. When you have all these defensive talents, obviously you want to take them, and then that just is where the spec is balanced around. So let's see what it looks like in game. I've been messing around with this. It's still unupdated. I guess they're going to take their time updating this. We don't need to look at this shitty version. We got the version in the game now. So here we go. Let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead and drop all the talents. Let's quickly do that. Presumably, yeah, I already see. Oh, that's a nice. Oh, okay. I got some. Oh, all right. So the big question here is whether or not some of the key talents like Bone Shield or Bone Storm and, you know, some of the things are easier to access. So let's take a look. So right out of the gate, we have Heart Strike, Marrow Rend, Blood Boil, no doubt. Some of those should probably become passives as well, but not necessarily a big deal. We have Bone Collect. Oh, it's on fucking tier 3. Oh, you're gonna get it early. Yeah. This is great. This is great. Love this. You're getting this so early. Okay, Vamp Blood. Obviously, we're taking these things. Ossuary probably should be a passive. Still there. Oh yeah, Vamp Blood. Improved Vamp Blood. Still 2 talent points. Surprised by that. What is this over here? Oh, Ossified Vitriol's over here. When you lose a Bone Shield charge, the damage of your next Marrow Rend is increased. This being here is kind of optional. But oh, look, it's pretty balanced against Improved Heartstrike. How about that? Are we going to be Improved Heartstrike havers? Very interesting. You got to take one or the other. That's very interesting. But this is only 1 talent point. So I'm going to take this for now. We'll come back to this. And this gives us access to all 3 of these, which I think we want. Yeah, because this doesn't give us... Yeah. All right. Sorry, guys. Yeah, you almost had me. You almost had me take an Improved Heartstrike. Okay, Dancing Rune Weapon. No changes to these talents yet, which I'm surprised by, but hey, we're good with that. Let's see. We're here. Leeching Strike. That's awful talent. Still exists somehow. Heartbreaker. Generates 0 additional runic power. This is a terrible talent now. Just kidding. Fall Bulwark. Obviously, we're taking that no matter what. I love Falborg. We have Gorfine's Grasp super early. Right here is very cool. Oh, wait, it's already a 1.5 minute cooldown. You don't even need the additional talent. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at how fancy we are. So if you want to take Rune Tap, you have to... That's a pretty big commitment to take Rune Tap defensively. But how fancy we are. So we're definitely taking Improved Bone Shield. And Tightening Grasp is now a talent right below it. Okay. What is this one? Reinforced Bones. Increase armor gain from Bone Shield by 10%. And it can stack 2 additional times. I mean, that used to be over here. That's kind of weird that that's over here now. We're kind of feeling a little tight right now. We're getting a little tight, but I'm thinking Perseverance of the Evan Blade is better for us. I've always liked this talent, but it's just now competing directly with these things. We definitely want Rapid Decomposition. Coagulopathy, it's hard not to take as somebody who plays the way I do. We're kind of running out of talent still. Not able to take Voracious and Hemostasis, but we got to pick them up. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, a lot of new talents down here, it looks like. Blood Feast, AMS, heals you for 100% of the damage it absorbs. That's always been in the game, I think. Tombstone, that was like up though, right? So now it's like... Okay, so now you could not take Tombstone, but still take Shattering Bone. That's strange. Mark of Blood, why is that in the game? So we obviously are taking Tombstone. Still forced into taking this stupid Heartrend talent for Purgatory. This is looking rough, guys. It's already looking rough. Under construction. The talent is not yet implemented. Is waiting to be raised from the dead. 2 talents that we don't know about yet. This is not better. Sanguine Ground, Red Thirst, Umbilicus. Can't take Iron Heart. Alright. Start over. Some exciting stuff. Wouldn't say it's helping the problems that they've said are problems. But we do have Gorfians. They did that at least. So let's start over and see what the minimum... We got to take a more efficacious talent path. I mean, no Hemostasis really sucks, man. I really like Hemostasis. But we might not be able to take it. So where you really can't play without. I wouldn't play without Falborg, but maybe we need to try. Let's see. I don't know. This talent maybe is just not being taken at this point. Obviously, we want that. Death Strike's healing is increased by 15%. Yeah, Voracious, I feel like you got to take. Coagulopath, we need these things. Versatility is nice. We'll take that. Okay, so we're 1 talent point shy. So we have 3 talent points we want, and we're 1 talent point shy. It's either Hemostasis, Tightening Grasp, or Falborg. Well, unfortunately, this is utility. I hate to say it. Wait. Wait. Hold on. Let's take these. I'm very confused. It's still reducing it by 30 seconds? So is it making it a 1 minute cooldown now, or is that a bug? All right, we'll take that for now. Hold on a second. I was going to say something that may not be true anymore. The problem is this. What is this? Get this out of here. Put this back there. This is bad. It's a bad choice. Oh, God. Look at this. This is where consumption is now. I just noticed. This is worse. It's worse. What are these talents? This is crucial. What are these things? If these are very, very important and difficult to take, this is worse. It's actually worse. I would say it's potentially worse. I still cannot get Bone Storm. I still cannot get Bloodshot. If I take these 2 things, you're pretty much stuck. You can make one hard decision here. We could take one of the 2, but this means no Hemostasis. Or no Falborg. Now, no Falborg is not the end of the world, but considering it's now a 12% health buff instead of a 10% theoretical health buff, I think we take it. And now it means we basically lost Hemostasis. Now, hold on. Before we do that, though, yeah, we just got to put talent points in over here. I don't think anything changed here. We made videos on this in the past. This is an incredible talent. Subduing Grasp is going to be incredible, and this is why we're giving pause to this combination of things. Because if these things truly work the way they look like they do, this is going to be an incredible talent tree, and there's going to be lots to consider. Anyway, just throwing random talents in. I just want to see if Gorfine Grasp is indeed a 1 minute cooldown now, or if it's still... No. Okay. So this... I don't... What's happening now? I can't change my talents? Okay. So put that there. Is it still a 1 minute and 25 second CD, or is it back to 2 minutes? Something buggy. Blizzard based something. Okay, it's a 2 minute CD. Okay, so it's bug. Something was buggy about it. Tightening Grass is now... Okay, this is a tough choice, man. This is a really tough choice. We now, in the way I want to build this talent, depending on what this nonsense is, I currently have a talent I don't want. Like, I don't even know what this does. This should not... I don't know what this is. I don't know what they're doing with this. But, yeah. Doesn't look like consumption's ever getting taken on my side. I mean, how do you not take Iron Heart, right? It's just so powerful. What could we not... This is... You might have did it, but you might have not. I don't know how to feel about this. Let me know what you guys think. I'm so surprised at how conflicted I am by this. I'm very shocked at this. Is actually very interesting. The talent tree is very interesting all of a sudden. There's still talents I would never consider taking. Blood Tap, Blood Feast, Mark of Blood, Improved Heart Strike, especially since it's still 2 talent points. Like, what are you doing with that? I guess taking that over Improved Vamp Blood or something. But I really like the idea here of using Gorfines as a defensive CD. I really wish... Like, this is a great utility piece. It would be awesome to have. But it's utility. I mean, I can't justify it over something like Hemostasis. I really can't. And Fall Bulwark, too. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it plays out. See how important the silence is. But at least we have Gorfines. At least we have a potential 6% damage reduction for 6 seconds on every target we hit. Let's go test this out really quick. Will it give us Mad Bone Shield? Let's go. Oh, I just fucking used it. Awesome. Of course I did. Anyway, yeah, so Bone Shield. I mean, we're not going to be taking Bone Storm at this rate unless they completely change the talent tree again. So we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about using that. This basically now, I think maybe what they're actually trying to do here is give like a very distinct offensive build. So you'd shift Purgatory into Bone Storm and Umbilicus into Bloodshot. And now you have like a serious offensive build. You know what I mean? And maybe even drop Red Thirst and take Consumption. I mean, I don't know how viable these talents are in this position. But maybe that's what they're trying to accomplish. But yeah, now that I've seen it, I would say there's just, it's worse. Bone Storm is just even less of reality for me to ever take. I don't know how they fix that at this point, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. I feel like a lot of talent trees are getting even better than Blood got, though. Like, I guess they're putting new talents here or something. I don't know what they're doing with this. But it's just not, like, the talents that work really well right now are just overshadowing everything else. This talent blows. Can we just get rid of this talent? I mean, come on, what the fuck is that? How is that on the same lead-in as Purgatory? This is not. It's not really better. I want to be optimistic. We got Gorfines and we got those cool synergies. That's great. But everything else is not really better. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. 18 seconds before we get test this. But I don't think it really matters because I don't see how I take both Tombstone and Bone Storm. 2 1-minute CDs that remove Bone Shield from you. I love the idea here. Like getting a Bone Shield. My keybinds are not accurate. Where is Death Grip? Right there. Yeah, so that gives you a Bone Shield charge. 2 Bone Shield charges. Runed Carved Plates. What is that? Some talent somewhere, I guess. Anyway, I really like the idea of gripping things and getting defense from it. It also makes the mob do less damage to you. So on top of the Bone Shield, it also gives you that. Here's the moment of truth. Yep, we got 3 bone shield from gripping 3 targets. Broken as fucking Mythic Plus. Big win there. Can't wait to see it. My god. Great, but not great. Let me know what you guys think.